Great. So my name is Shazad. I'm one of the co-founders of Black Crow. I lead our product and technology teams. For those of you that don't know, Black Crow is a platform that has a growing set of solutions to help brands across site experience, email, SMS, paid ads, really with the mission of kind of helping you optimize that journey from discovery to acquisition to retention. And I'll let Alexi and Chris introduce themselves.
Yeah, I am Chris. I run kind of all things customer for Sabai Design, which I like to say is the coolest furniture company you haven't heard of yet. And we re-engineer like all the furniture you love, specifically seating products, to be planet and people positive. So we like kind of rework and manufacture sofas and seating to be more sustainable and healthier for your home.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alexi. I'm the Growth Marketing Manager at Catbird, and we are a fine jewelry brand that was born in Williamsburg in 2004, so we're actually celebrating our 20th year now. And we are a fine jewelry brand. We've always worked in solid recycled 14 karat gold and recycled diamonds, so sustainability has been our core pillar since the beginning as well.
Oh, there you go, a working mic.
Cool.
Yeah, we love Catbird. We're all Brooklyn residents over here as well, so shout out to Brooklyn. Let's start with what's kind of top of mind for you in direct-to-consumer these days in your worlds. Alexi, you want to start?
Yeah, so what's top of mind for us is really getting in front of new customers and trying to help them fall in love with us faster, because we've been seeing over the past couple of years and even longer, there's so many more competitive brands popping up, not only, I don't want to say matching us in terms of the jewelry offer, but coming closer and being more competitive. But then even in terms of the sustainability side of things, a lot of our competitors are upping the ante. And it used to feel like, we were the only ones working in recycled gold, and now that's kind of becoming more table stakes. So how can we get in front of more people, efficiently, but then help us buy into our brand faster so that we get their share of wallet and can convert them into loyal customers?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same thing. Like sustainability, which is kind of what we founded our brand on, was becoming more and more in fashion, and there are people who are doing it in a good and healthy way, and there are people who are kind of greenwashing, as we say. And my biggest challenge, and I think your biggest challenge, is telling our story to as many people as possible in a way that cuts through that noise. And as so many people in the last panel had mentioned, it's creative and storytelling that really is going to do that work for us. So kind of my big challenge is what is cutting through the noise right now in a way that separates us from all of the other noise.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. So let's get into then understanding that that's kind of top of mind for you, getting to these audiences. What are the big growth drivers for you these days, and have you noticed things shift around them at all?
Yeah, coming onto the team a year and a half ago as the first and only growth member on the team has been really cool, because I've been able to shed a lot of light to our team and leadership about how hard our growth channels really work for us. And we don't have the biggest budget ever, and we're not burning money in paid channels. They really are working as efficiently as possible for us with the help of tools like Black Crow. So that's kind of been internally shifting, where the team is more and more invested in what's going on in growth, and in particular, the creative side of things, like you alluded to, it's so important. As our teams learned more and more about kind of how we can feed the machine and keep that growth wheel turning, we have our art department, and our leadership team is now feeling really excited and invested in creative, so that when we are looking at our budget and spending on these channels, we can be really strategic with what we're putting out there. So again, we can help cut through the noise.
Yeah, I think one of our biggest growth drivers right now is product. Last year, we did a big focus on expanding our seating lines and our offerings, because kind of our thesis after kind of releasing a lot of different things and talking to a lot of different customers was, what is what are people really coming to us for? And it ended up being our sofa line and offering more different styles, but like staying true to who we were and kind of narrowing down what our brand focus was and what our offering is, and then kind of telling that across different product lines has really been the biggest propeller in the past, I guess,
Great.
year.
Wonderful. So let's talk tactics for a moment. Aside from Black Crow, what have you tried in the last 6 months that's worked well for you?
Yeah, I'd say the nerd answer for me would be Advantage Plus, which I know is old news now, but we've tested into it and we've seen a lot of success in grouping our creative by product focus AOV, because our brand generally has a high AOV because we're fine jewelry, but we have a lot of products and they kind of span everyday jewelry that you can wear, as well as products like wedding and engagement. So that AOV difference is quite vast. So we found that when we group our creative by product focus AOV, we've actually been able to inch up and slowly increase our overall AOV in the channel. So that's been really fun to see. And plus, it's just really rewarding when, like attribution is crazy and confusing, but if we're putting a lot of effort into like tennis bracelet ads and then we actually see that we're selling more tennis bracelets, it kind of feels like we're closing the attribution gap a little bit. And then the fun answer on what's been working is just collaborations. Like in the past year, we've been able to collaborate with Phoebe Bridgers and Boy Genius, and that was really great because kind of like that burst in volume and awareness just helped us in all of our channels. So looking to push into that further.
One thing that has worked for us recently that I feel like everybody always told me never works is traffic campaigns. And we kind of had this thesis that like we are so confident in our product, in our story, and our principles that like I just need eyeballs. And I need eyeballs and I need them efficiently. And what is going to do that? And we've seen our traffic meta campaigns perform extremely well for us. They lowered our cost per email acquisition and then our overall CAC. And that was super exciting to see the kind of that thesis play out well.
Perfect. And makes a ton of sense with the considered purchase, right? To get the eyeballs in. Okay, let's move to shameless plug time and talk about Black Crow. So we have a new offer, a new product called Predictive Offer, where the objective is to help scale list growth by using machine learning to predict when site visitors are likely to opt in and share their information. Can you talk a bit about how you think about your strategies in the world of list growth and the role of email and SMS in acquisition?
Yeah, sure. So just to say, Black Crow's been a great partner, and we've been with them for around a year and a half, and we've been able to kind of like pivot and use their different services based off what's working best for us in the moment. So that's been really great and led us to the predictive welcome offer. And for like a 2-month period, we were able to see that our incremental revenue rose around 75% through leveraging this tool. So that was really great. And then we placed those users in their own segment, and we've been able to see that their revenue as well as their AOVs is higher than users who would have come through otherwise. So we've been able to test a couple of things on them, and we want to keep pushing it further. But like during holiday, we gave them slightly different messaging than others, and just trying to leverage more and more personalization on those users so we can make them work harder for us.
Yeah, I think that's a great kind of optimization point that we're working on right now to kind of build out. But we kind of left another traffic identification email kind of provider. And predictive offer came up at a really, really great time for us because we kind of were missing that function that we knew worked well, but kind of couldn't necessarily parse through all of the noise to understand how impactful it was. But we brought it to our program and like immediately saw kind kind of like a higher return on that welcome flow for those people who signed up using predictive offer. And as a furniture business, we're long consideration. So, our funnel is long and email is a big part of it. And so seeing that kind of immediate return on those predictive offer audiences, we're now just trying to figure out like how do we get it faster and how do we get it more. And so I think in terms of, I can't exactly tell you the tech behind it or the why, but we do know that like it's hitting people in the right part of their journey, that they are more primed than our classic audience or our normal kind of sign up units to convert on that welcome flow.
Beautiful, thanks both, and happy to explain it in more detail outside of this panel. Let's move on to the last question here, which is, so as growth marketers, we're experimenting a lot, trying lots of different things. We've talked about some of our successes. What hasn't been working well for you that comes to mind recently?
I'd say the first thing would be like a creative just for the sake of a creative. Like we launch a lot of new products. We launch new releases every week. So, and like I said, a lot of our team members are more and more excited about creative now. So we have a lot of different voices that need to be heard. But just taking a step back and thinking about all the data that we have on our creative, like, we might not need to launch something just because we're releasing a new product, but really stepping back and thinking like, what's the best use of that budget that we have to make it work as hard as we can, and maybe that new creative slot is better suited for like an evergreen style creative that we know based off our data performs better for us. So I'd say that's one. And then what I'm struggling with is really just the whole attribution thing. So if anybody has any ideas, we don't have an attribution tool yet.
Sounds good. I have some ideas for you there.
Yeah, what's not working? That's a great question because I feel like so many things. But I try to abandon them pretty fast, so it's hard to recall. But one of the things that I think that like was working really well for us and has kind of puttered out a little bit is PR and affiliate. And I think there's a general, like people are less interested in just sustainability right now. And what are the other like stories that we're gonna tell that are impactful and like interesting that makes people care from a press perspective? Because our like customers and our audiences still care, but how do we like reach them? And for a long time, I think it was PR. But I think now we have to tell like a little bit more splashy stories to get them interested. And I think one thing that we're really working on is collaboration. That is what is driving a lot of like interest in news in the home decor space, is really like bringing people together to launch new products and collaborations. Yeah.
Nice mix for like a splashy PR announcement when you do something like that.
Exactly. They want an event, they want a celebrity, an influencer, they want a hook. And so that's kind of what we're focused on right now. So if anybody is a celebrity, please come talk to me.
Brilliant. That wraps it up for us. So thank you. I don't know if we have time for any questions. Otherwise, yeah? Cool. We'll take any questions if anyone's got any. Yeah, please.
How do you guys determine what an appropriate budget is for marketing in general? And like, how do you allocate that with certain channels?
It's the age-old question. I feel like at Capward, we haven't gotten to that point where we're, like I said, burning money. So I'm kind of always trying to push for incremental budget, which is hard. But really pushing for those places where we've got the campaign set up in a way that we're targeting net new users. So through prospecting efforts, different channels, and where we can really put out that creative to interrupt the user, our type of customer where they're interacting.
Yeah, I'm like, it's an all-out brawl to like advocate for budget. And You know, our brand specifically has always seen like incredibly efficient performance on paid channels, so that's kind of always easy, but it's advocating for the stuff we haven't tested. That again is the all-out brawl, and it's just showing incremental performance and testing and traction, and that's ultimately like how we get more and more faith from, you know, the finance team.
Yeah, and then ultimately, I'm sure, Jonathan, you can help out with this, which is the understanding the CAC payback periods and kind of engendering trust with finance that the marketing investment is going to pay back in the expected time period. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.